So welcome everyone to the Mediumship Show, the second show today. And it's designed for people who really want to listen live rather than a replay, so to speak, which it's going to be the same subject as it was this afternoon at 12 o'clock. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to be looking at the truth about karma and the truth about um, reincarnation, and it might not be what you might think it is. But before we get into that, I would say that I want to talk to you a little bit about our group, Société Jeanne d'Arc. This is a Telegram group, and there you can see the link down there just below me. And this is where you'll find all the information about Jeanne d'Arc. The channeled messages will come to this group first before anything else. And what we're trying to achieve here is a group of people who want to live in this higher vibration. And by that I mean who really want to be their authentic self. So it's designed for people who want to be courageous in front of their own personal adversities. It doesn't matter what it is. What might be an adversity to me might be nothing to you. But it's for people who want to have the courage to rise above their adversities. This is ever so prevalent in the society, which is trying to mould you into something you are not. So to be your authentic self is quite an incredible thing anyway. So this is what the group is about. It's about promoting peace, firstly within ourselves, within our heart. That would be the first thing, because then we look to, from when we have peace within ourselves, then we can start to look for peace in the outer world, because everything on the outer world comes from the inner world. So we have to make sure that we're at peace before we can do anything else. So that's what basically what the group is. By the way, if any of you are interested in a bit of the history of Jeanne d'Arc, here on YouTube, in the posts, I posted a little item about some goings on at the trial of Jeanne d'Arc and why it shouldn't have taken place. It's not something that you would ordinarily see in the regular history books. It seems to have surpassed the knowledge of the people that want to express who Jeanne d'Arc was. Certainly the education system wouldn't have taught us anything about this. And if you want to see any of the channeled messages, there's a link there in the description box here on YouTube, and that'll take you directly to all the channeled messages that we've done with Jeanne d'Arc so far. So, having said all of that, enough of that, let's talk about karma and what it really is. Because it's not really what we're told it is. Let's look at this in a logical way. We're told that if we are a bad person and we haven't learned our lessons, then when we transition back home, we have this judgment, and we are told, well, you've been a bad boy, you've got to go back and learn your lessons. Well, if you're lucky, you might be admitted to the halls of learning so that you can learn from your mistakes from there, or the halls of healing. But let's look at this logically. This plan of karma doesn't sound like the plan of a very loving God that would punish his or her children by keep sending them back to the earth plane because their vibration or their intentions that they created on the earth plane were wrong, were bad, and then sends us back home only to send us back again to learn the same lesson. But if we've got no reference point as to what we've done wrong, then how can we learn a lesson? In much the same way, if as a child I do something wrong, my father corrects me and I learn the lesson. We have a reference point. But it seems that according to religion and according to the church, that we come back and we make the same mistakes again, most probably. And that's why we come back till we learn. But Jeanne tells us we're really not here on the earth plane to learn anything. This is another fallacy. But that's for another point. So this, Jeanne tells us, is the truth of karma, is that this perception of karma is that you're a bad boy, so you've got to come back to the earth plane, is designed to keep you in the fear energy in order to control, direct you and manipulate you into thinking in a certain way. And remember, it was the same organisation, the church, that condemned Jeanne as a heretic and a witch and God knows what else, is the same institution that made her a saint. So why do I say this? Well, I say this because there is certain people that believe that people that do the most appalling acts of crime, appalling atrocities, such as Hitler, for example, has to live every day their life with the pain of each and every one of the people whose suffering he caused. Well, that, from an earthly point of view, sounds a very logical thing, doesn't it? You know? But now let's look at it from another perception of Jeanne d'Arc. She, no doubt, was responsible for the death of many, many people, both French and English. Yet, according to the church, she is not spending her days, every day of her life, in torture and pain and suffering of each and every individual person she is responsible for the death for. No, in fact, the church made her a saint, the complete opposite. So this idea that, I don't know, that you will be punished for all your wrongdoings and come back to the earth plane is a nonsense. What she tells us is this, is that if you go off track and you go off path, then you go back to the 5D world, the heavenly realms, when your time is up, and you do get the opportunity to, if possible, to go to the halls of healing or the halls of learning, if your vibration can support it. Now, if you're lucky enough and it can support it, then you get the opportunity to stay in the 5D world. But if you've been so bad that you can't stay in the 5D world, then you have to go back, because that's where your vibration is best supported. So it's not a learning thing, it's just a vibrational thing. And then again, the process starts again completely. Now, there are other things to take into account here. What about life contracts? Oh, exactly. What about life contracts? Indeed, because let's refer to, as I often do, Judas. It had to be agreed that the soul, that a particle of the soul had to have agreed to come to the earth plane and enter this suit or this body, which was later to be named and called Judas, and must have agreed to have betrayed Christ. Otherwise, there would be no legacy. The existence as we know it today of Christ wouldn't exist. And so what about Jeanne d'Arc? It's the same thing. That fragment of the soul had to have agreed to come to the earth plane, to enter a prepared body, if you like, with a certain amount of information of the task to be done, to enter into the body, and that person was going to be called Jeanne d'Arc or Joan of Arc. And so, likewise, her adversaries, like Cauchon, Midi, and Loiseur, who all were absolutely determined to execute her, had to play their part. So in such an important prophecy, I would suggest that they all decided to come and do this as well. Now, Jeanne, she was responsible for the deaths of many people. She believed her cause was righteousness. I believe her cause was righteousness. I don't believe in violence. That was the only way things could get done back then, I guess, because the people didn't have a voice. However, that's again for another story. The point that I'm making is that Jeanne hasn't reincarnated as far as I know. As far as I know, Judas hasn't reincarnated. So it's not a question always of what you do on the earth plane. If it's bad, is going to almost certainly bring you back, because there is a divine plan. And if you're asking me what that divine plan is, then I'd have to be honest and tell you I haven't got a clue what the divine plan is. And I would also go as far as to say nobody can really say with surety what the divine plan is. All I know is this, that if Jeanne d'Arc didn't do what she did, most likely half of France would be speaking English and probably still under the control of the English. And so for whatever reason, she came down to balance the books, so to speak. So this is the thing about karma and reincarnation. So you don't come back, you don't reincarnate to learn lessons, you don't reincarnate to be punished, by the way. You come back for, as I said, for those reasons. It's a vibrational thing. So let me just read you 4 paragraphs of part of the, it's an excerpt from the channeled message that Jeanne sent to me. And you can find the link there at the bottom of the YouTube description, where it will take you to all the channeled messages, of which the one about karma is there. So this is the excerpt of what she tells me about what karma really is. She said, you should view karma as your own flow of life, ebbing and flowing within you, as part of you, with every breath, thought, deed, action, or inaction. It is not outside of you. How can it be? Everything from within the self, it is you. It is your vibration. Everything that happens to you is because of you, and that includes any foreign vibration you choose to allow into your field. I refer to even those who wish to do evil upon you, those who have fallen from a state of grace, rather than those who came to the earth plane to fulfill an agreement, such as my earthly adversaries. Your ancestors' vibrations are not you. They are not your vibration or karma, as you refer to it. Only with your own permission can a vibration be inherited and participate in your life. So, did you agree to inherit before you came to the earth plane? It can only be with your own permission. There is no organ or cell in your body that has the vibration of an ancestor attached to it. There is some of your own genetic memory that is brought forward to your current life. This is how so many can recall a past life. However, it is true that the people who, through a medical procedure, have an organ transplanted into their body will experience some of the vibration of that unfortunate person whose bodily part that you have. And finally, she reminds us, karma is not a scorecard, marking down good deeds or bad deeds and then presenting you with obstacles or a fast track on your life's journey, or even in a new life review for when you return home. Karma is a guide to help you along life's journey without judgment. Karma is purely a vibrational match to your thoughts, words and deeds. So there we are. So karma is not what we think it is. We very rarely say, that man's got good karma because of all the good things he's done. No, the essence is always on the negative. And I do not see an all-loving, omnipotent force, the Mother, Father, God, blemishing us in this way. It wouldn't really be good parenting, would it, if our parents were to not correct us when we were babies, so that we didn't make these mistakes again. So there you are. That's the truth about karma. The full excerpt, as I said, is in the channeled messages. Please do leave any messages you like in the section there, and I'll get back to you. I'll try and answer any questions. Normally, every time I answer the questions, they are coming from Jeanne's thoughts, but if they're not, I'll tell you that they're my thoughts. It's very difficult actually now to determine what are her thoughts and what are my thoughts, as the energies tend to mix now. But anyway, look, I'll leave that with you. There's something to ponder over. And what I would say is, come along to our little Société Jeanne d'Arc there on Telegram. Pretty much it's only me that posts. We only do inspirational stuff, and 90% of it is about Jeanne d'Arc anyway. And you will get the channeled messages there first before they come out here on YouTube. So in the meantime, whatever you're doing the rest of your day, have a loving and peaceful day, and I'll see you all next time. This is Mike and Sean signing off for now. Bye-bye.